Hello, 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 beautiful friends. It's Beverley Buckley here with the Love Your Life show. Yay! Live on YouTube and also live in your computer. Yes, I think that's a good thing. Today we have some really, really exciting things going on. I have Hilary Stocker who's going to be joining us. And without further ado, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an intro and information a little bit about Hilary if you've never heard of her before. She was born into post-war Ireland. Hilary Stocker has cast off the paradigm of austerity, lack, and conflict of that era to tune into the abundance of life. She embodies the power of peace and enables her clients to peacefully and powerfully take inspired action in their own lives. Hilary's life has taken her on many adventures. She has lived in Britain and Canada and now has her home in Switzerland. How nice is that? With lots of Swiss chocolate, one of my favorite things in the world. These times have not always been easy. She has suffered culture conflicts, loss of identity, overwhelm, and depression, and has found these very obstacles have been the link to the inner strength to move forwards into the awakening on deeper levels. Hilary is the mother of 3 amazing adult sons who continue to inspire her as they're open to creating and sharing a phenomenal sense of boldness in their lives. So some of the things that Hilary actually, her gifts and talents that she has is transforming bodies, loving presence and gentleness which allows the clients to trust her, openness to express the fears holding themselves back in life by disengaging from those fears and bringing in new realities. She's also a movement and transformational body therapist, the Trager approach, including mentastics and reflex response, massage therapy, reflexology, and Reiki. She also runs one-on-one coaching sessions. And I'm going to, without further ado, bring in Hilary to come and join us today. Hilary, are you there?
Yes, I am, Beverley. That was a wonderful introduction that you gave for me. I just hope that I live up to all of that wonderful stuff that you said about me.
Well, if you're on this show, you're definitely going to live up to it. You're definitely going to live up to it. I'm pretty sure of that. So, Hilary, today our theme is mostly about war and war mentality and war and peace and how all of that fits together. A lot of it has got to do with the paradigm of lack, fear, survival, a lot of the things that seem to be prevalent in the world right now. Also things like, we want to be better, getting more, fighting. And you say that this is how you grew up and you've come quite a far ways from that into bringing more peace into your life. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. I grew up in post-war Britain, so I didn't go through the extreme lack that the generation before me went through during the wartime. But the mentality was still there. I was born in the year that they stopped rationing. But this rationing mentality was there, this feeling of lack, not enough to go round, was so very prevalent. And this is what I was born into. Now, people in wartime had tried to keep themselves very safe. They felt that they needed to survive the war. Their mentality was to keep everything quiet and peaceful, but it was always a trying. Exactly as the men in the war tried to win the war. And when we try to do things, we use some. In this post-war era, people were trying so hard. Rather than just being the people they were in peacetime, they kept the mentality of war. And this mentality was things like careless words cost lives. So people were very quiet about what was going on. They didn't communicate the way that we do now. Another one was walls have ears. So again, don't say anything about anything you see going on. And this then mentality of lack takes the joy out of life. People were struggling to rebuild, struggling to make a living. And it doesn't feel good because lack and lack mentality is actually not the truth. It's not the truth of who we are. War is always to do with lack. We go to war because we feel we won't have enough in the future, that someone's going to take away what we already have. And this mentality can not prevail in this day and age. There are people trying to keep it going, but really it belongs to something we call three-dimensional energy. So 70 years ago, this was okay for the energies of the time, but today the energies are changing so much, and yet there are people still in the mindset of war and conflict is the way to go forwards, and that peace takes a lot of effort. It's a little bit like this lower consciousness is a little bit like an animal which is in a corner. When it's in the corner and it feels threatened, then it will attack. And this old mentality is very much like this. So when a country feels threatened, or I'd like to take this later into everyday life, when we feel threatened in everyday life, then we can get into this attack mode very quickly. Lack makes you feel like a victim. And nobody likes to feel like a victim. We want to feel that we're empowered and that we're doing what we want to do in this world. And we all come into the world being little bundles of light and love, but being told very, very often not to be so enthusiastic, so bouncy, so joyful, and to close it all down because it triggers people around them. And in this post-war era, there were a lot of people who'd been traumatized who were triggered by little children.
So
Yes.
then a lot of children actually pick up a lot of that, and I suppose you did as well, picked up a lot of that energy, even though you weren't in the war or had those rationing things going on. You still felt the energy of that because it got projected onto you by your parents and grandparents and family around you. And now what's happening here is, I think generationally, it's kind of still in the energy, and people are experiencing now still these things, even though the war was nearly 100 years ago.
Yes, absolutely. When I grew up, I realized that I passed a lot of these things on to my children. At that time, I had no idea about letting go of these kind of energies. And what I found was that because a lot of things were forbidden to children at that time, in order to keep them safe, I would say, and this was the form of love that we received. Keeping us safe was very, very important while the rebuilding went on. But keeping safe means not doing anything where you would take any risk. And taking risks makes you feel so much more alive. It doesn't feel actually to children like taking risks. A lot of the things I do today doesn't feel like taking a risk, but to other people it does. So we were not allowed to take what was considered to be risks, meaning that we didn't do a lot of things. We didn't do a lot of things which would have been a lot of fun. in order to keep safe. And this non-allowance of the joy and the love that we are makes us feel suppressed. We can't expand if we're to be quiet and to be what everybody else wants us to be. And there was still the era in Britain of children are seen but not heard. So it was very quiet and not dealing with life, really. Keeping safe is not going out and taking part in life as children want to do. And I'm afraid, yes, I pass this on to the next generation. And this is why I feel it's so important that this mentality, this era of 3 dimensions is coming to an end. And we all, people on this call and the people viewing this video afterwards, we're all the people who will be involved in that. So I think it's so important to talk about that now, so that we can bring ourselves to a place where the war and the conflicts start to die away.
And how would you say, because I know that a lot of what you talk about and a lot of what you do with your clients has got to do with like having peace in your life. How would a person go from being in that warlike exhaustion, like they're fighting these mini battles all the time on a day-to-day basis, to being in a state of peace and the energy of what they live their life being from a state of peace? How would a person move from being in that war mentality to a peace mentality? And I know that you've got something called mentalistics and you speak about body work as well. What are some of the tools that you recommend? And maybe you could take us through a process or two as well. I know I'm asking for a lot of things at the same time, but you know, I'm just like feeling into, I know you've got so much to give, and I just want to kind of bring that excitement of what I'm ready to experience in this peace moment with you. Tell us a little bit more about those.
But before we go into the peace part, I'd like to say a little bit more about the conflict. Because we don't go to war without other conflicts in our lives. And we bring conflict into our lives all the time. We bring it in when we don't want people to be the way they are. In every relationship we have, the peace in the relationship will be the allowing of the other person to be the way they are. And we don't have to agree with them. We don't have to be with them all the time. But you will see from perhaps a couple of examples about how we don't allow people to be how they are. For instance, we've all seen little children in supermarkets. When they're about 2 years old, they start to use their minds and know what they want. They start to come out of this flow of life and be very clear about what is for them and what is not for them. In 2-year-olds in supermarkets not being allowed, and they're screaming and shouting and lying on the floor. And this is from a society not allowed. And the mother, of course, is feeling really bad because her child is doing something which is not allowed. And instead of allowing that child to go through whatever it's going through, then that child is stopped from being the way it is, stopped from feeling the way it feels. It really feels so bad when you are wanting something and people are stopping you all the time. They're not allowing you to be a creative energy in their lives. They're not allowing you to bring in what you want to contribute. They're not allowing you to have the thing. And so as a child, this can be so difficult to deal with. It doesn't feel like that's why we've come to this planet. We've come here to be who we are, to expand our talents, to have fun, inspire people, and we're being stopped. And this on a day-to-day basis, and it happens in school as well. You know, they go in as geniuses, and they're told to sit down and be quiet. And this is happening more and more, except in alternative systems. But it's so difficult for the children to have to suppress that energy in themselves. What I find leads to the depression later on. When you suppress everything inside of you, it feels like what you are is disappearing. What you've come here to bring, all your talents, they are just disappearing, and you're doing things for other people. You're trying to create peace with other people by pleasing other people. And that is so difficult because you stop being you stop being yourself. And peace at this cost is not actually what we're talking about today. Peace is not giving up what you would like to do. It's not going into a place of no power. And we'll come a little bit later to what I think peace is, but perhaps this is the time to start the activation.
Yes, okay, great. Before we start that though, I'd just like to let you know, Anne has joined us in the room. She's here and she said, so true, Hilary. I think most of us would like to find the adventurous inner child, and it's so good to be here. Thanks, Bev and Hilary. She's obviously here with us, enjoying this moment in the room, and I'm really excited about this peace activation. It's the first time I've done a peace activation, and I'm really excited to see how this is gonna Let's do it, girlfriend.
Yes. Well, this is to activate the peace within inside of you. And from this place, so many things are possible. So let's just feel our feet on the floor and our bottoms on the chair. And take a gentle, slow, deep breath in. Treat yourself really well. And relax your body and relax your mind. And breathe in once more, slowly and gently. Relax your body. Go into a deep place and relax your mind. One more gentle, deep breath. And as you breathe out, sigh out. And go into a place where you're very deeply relaxed, very gentle with yourself. Relax your mind. Now I want you to let your mind take a little break and go on holiday for a few moments. So let go of all the thoughts that you have. Just for a few seconds. And open your hearing so that you can hear my words. And feel the peace of where you really are and what you really are. Go back into the place now of no thought. Give up the thoughts. And feel this awareness of the peace which is inside of you. and how that feels for you right at this moment. Take another deep breath in and out again. And feel the awareness of your body. You might feel the patterns of your body, your heartbeat, things moving around in your brain. The awareness of other things in your body, sensations. Breathe in and breathe out again. And from this place, you might know of some conflict in your life. It's possible that you feel no conflict whatsoever. But if there's a conflict arising for you as I'm saying these words, just let it come up. And breathe. And let go. Breathe into that conflict. And know that the peace within you is the truth. The conflict and the way that that feels, that is actually not true. That's why it doesn't feel so good. So bring up this peace. Bring it up into this conflict. You may see the people in this conflict. See them and relax. Let them see you and relax. Allow them to see you and who you are. The real you, the peaceful you, the relaxed you, the allowing you. And watch what happens with the people in the conflict. As you allow them as well to be who they are. That you're hearing without judging. Not making them right or wrong, but listening and allowing them to be who they are. And when you've done that, I'd like you to start coming back into your body, feeling the sensations in your body again, feeling the peace which is there. Letting your mind take a little rest again. 3, 4, 5 seconds. And feeling this peace and opening your eyes slowly. Bring this peace back into the room. Bringing the peace back to the people around you. With just the knowing of who you are. So Beverley, how are you feeling now after that? I can see you making lovely face. I can't hear you.
Yeah, it just takes me a bit of time to takes me a few seconds to put the mute off. It takes a bit of time just to unmute. So I like to mute myself when you're busy talking. Otherwise, we sometimes get feedback, and then it's not so nice on the sound for you and for the listeners. So there's a little bit of a delay. But yeah, that was really, 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 I feel very much more peaceful. And one of the things that came very, very strongly that I recognized was about being in conflict in our daily lives all the time. We feel like we're like in this little mini war all the time. Like it felt like I lay down all of my ammunition, all of my swords and guns and brain blasters or whatever, and it was like I just stepped into this space of peace and love, and everything around me was just peace and love. So it was like there's nothing that I need to fight against. And if you are fighting, all that you're fighting against is love and peace all the time.
Yes.
So it's interesting that you don't even need to have that fight anymore. You don't need to have any of those weapons anymore, because you have a weapon against, there's only love and peace around you. And when you have that as your awareness, it's like if your awareness is saying there's something to fight against, then something to fight against is going to come up. But if your awareness is saying, oh, look, it's all love and peace, then you're not going to have to fight against anything, and everything is just going to be flowing and easy for you. So yes, it's also about your perceptions and your point of view and your perception of what you're seeing.
Yes. And
yes. Did I get it right? Did I get it right? Am I a good student?
Oh, yes. That was absolutely wonderful. And to know that you felt that is wonderful. Because we live in a feeling universe. So once we get out of our minds and we feel who we truly are, that we start to feel so much better. We start to feel so much more able to deal with what's going on around us. Everyday conflicts disappear when we're out of the mind. The mind is there and creates problems. Trying its best to keep us safe, but seeing problems everywhere. So when we can rest the mind and send it on holiday for a few moments, we can come back again and again to this state of peace that we really are. And then our lives start to flow. People don't start to fight against us. There's nothing to fight against. If I am allowing that person to be the way they are, they have nothing to fight against.
Yes.
So the peace comes through all the time. When I'm in peace, the other person starts to come out of their mode of stress and tension and alertness and readiness to resist, to fight, and comes also into this place of peace. So this is a beautiful thing which affects other people too.
I love it. 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 And then there's something that I when I read earlier, was it mentalistics? You mentioned something about ways to bring yourself into peace with, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, mentalistics. Obviously, body work, a good massage helps a lot. But are there specific body work exercises or things that you recommend? And let us know more
yes,
about
one of the bodywork modalities I use is called Trager. And Trager is done on a massage table, but it works with the nervous system and calms the nervous system. It's built on trust, that the practitioner will not go over the boundaries of the client. And so all the movements I do with the body allow the mind to say, yes, 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 because I don't go over its boundaries. It's a little bit like when the mind is alert, it's ready to resist something. And so the movements I do are all gentle, kind movements. They're soft movements, and they give the mind the sense of trust. And then I see whether the body resists me, and I do not go as far as that resistance. So all the movements are very gentle, and then we have a break, and the mind takes a break, and then I come back again, and normally the body will allow me to do much more. And this trust is built up over one session, over several sessions. Trager is something which goes deeper and deeper into body and mind. So people feel not only peaceful, but also joyful, more fluid in their movements. It takes the stress out of the body, out of the mind. But there are also other things which we can do. It can be used therapeutically for people, for instance, who've had stroke or MS or Parkinson's, burnout, and so on. And there are other things which we use to activate tissue, to strengthen tissue. And what you were talking about, Bev, was the mentastics. And these are gentle self-care exercises, which we're inspired to give to clients. We don't actually know beforehand what exercises we're going to give. We do this in collaboration with the client and how they feel. The way they feel is extremely important. And these are exercises which they can do during their everyday life. They might do it while they're walking to the bus stop or on their way to work, or perhaps in the bathroom while they're getting ready. Did you want to know a little more about mentastics?
Yeah. Please, yes, please, yes, please, yes. And before we go into that quickly, Anne has just saying, great process, Hilary. Great way to bring myself into presence. So she really, really enjoyed that process, and she says a great way to bring us into presence, which I agree. When you're in peace, you're in presence, which is quite a nice experience. I agree. But yes, I'd love to know more about some processes, maybe one or two things that just come to you intuitionally now that you could share that people could do as they're going around in their world.
Well, yes, right at the moment, we're just sitting here on our chairs, so we can stay here, and I will give a couple of exercises which we can do with our heads. Because we carry so much tension around our heads. So just feel how your head is feeling now. If you move it very gently, how is it feeling? Can you feel any places where it moves easily? Can you feel any places where it feels a little bit sticky? It's not moving quite as easily? Okay, take a rest. So Bev, would you like to be my model for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm your model.
That's great. So how is your head and neck feeling at the moment?
It's feeling quite a bit stiff along the sides of my neck and into my shoulders. It's feeling a bit like just tight.
Okay, good. So I'd like you to lift both your shoulders as gently as you can. Yeah, and then just slowly release them. Okay. I'm not sure if it's your picture that's jumping a little bit, but let's do it as smoothly as we can and with as least effort as we can. Yeah. Right, and slowly down again. Good, and slowly down again. Okay.
It almost feels like going slowly is harder work than going fast.
Yes, yes. You know, it's this where we're gentle with ourselves, where we give love to ourselves. So this time, Bev, I'd like you to do that with 50% of the effort that you were using before. That's great. And just let them rest. Let your arms hang. Feel the weight of your hands at the end of your arms. Okay, this time, Bev, I'd like you to use 10% of that effort. That's great. This time, bring them up so high, just a little bit, and then let them. Yeah. So little effort. So full of ease. And this time, Bev, I'd like you just to make that movement with your mind. Okay, and just rest. And I saw your shoulders moving even though you were just using your mind. So let me know how the shoulders are feeling now. Are they any different or are they the same?
They feel like there's buzzing around by my ears. Feels like it's buzzing around my shoulders. It feels like there's space.
So that's a good buzzing? That's really good.
And it feels like there's space, like a great giant space around my shoulders, around my ears.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this time, I'd like you to put your head to one side very slightly. I'd like you to feel the weight of that ear on that side which is going down. Feel the weight. How much weight does an ear have? And then come back. Okay, let's do that as softly as we can. Let's do it one more time. How much weight does that ear have? Same side? Good. That's wonderful. Okay, and come back up again. And rest. Just be aware. Okay. Same side. One more time as softly as you can. As much ease as you can. And then come upright once more. Okay, I think we should do the other side. So let's feel the weight of the other ear as you move your head to the side. Yeah. How does that feel? How heavy is that ear? Okay, come back up again. That's super, the way you're doing it. One more time. You can really see this inner awareness of what's happening.
It feels like it's getting looser each time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And it feels like it's getting lighter each time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It feels like the first time when I did it, it felt like a deep stretch on the side of my neck. And by the third time I did it, it felt a lot lighter, like tight.
Right, let's see if we can bring a little warm olive oil into your neck. Feel the warmth of that. This time I'd like you to move your head a little bit from side to side and let that oil get into all the joints. Feel it moving around. Yeah, side to side, you can move a little. Yes, backwards and forwards. Yes, that's perfect. Your intuition also guides you. Let that warmth make everything move easily. Okay, and rest. We'll do that one more time. In small movements. Okay, let's do that, Bev, after a little rest with 50% of that effort. So it's even more oily and slippery, slidey. Everything is moving in divine perfection. Okay, and rest. So how is that now feeling when you move?
It feels like my head feels like it's floating, like it's not even attached to my neck. It just feels like it's floating on its own weight, like a balloon.
Right. So these are exercises that you can do every day for tension which has been there for a while. This is the point where the client would normally get onto the massage table and the session would begin, the hands-on session. And then we'll see how it is again afterwards, integrate that, and then they take these exercises home so that they can do this 3 times a day like the doctor ordered.
Can I come climb on your massage table, Hilary?
I'd love you to, Bev. I'd love you to.
I'll just climb through the internet. Let me just climb through the internet quickly. There, I'm going into the internet, and I'm coming and I'm wiggling out the side.
Yes, yes. This floaty feeling is is normally what people also say is very peaceful, this floaty feeling. But you know, we make sure that people are down to earth before they actually leave the practice.
Yes, it feels like my head feels like it's a balloon, but the bottom part of the string of the balloon is tied into the middle of the earth, so it's just
That's
floating like
wonderful.
this.
It's exactly perfect for today, isn't it?
Yes, that's wonderful. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. That was
Yes, me too.
great. So, Hilary, if anyone would like to get in contact with you personally and find out more about what you do, or maybe come for one of those delicious massages that you are bragging about there, how would people be able to get involved and contact you and go deeper with you and connect with you?
Well, with my email address, info@hilarystocker.ch.
Okay.
I've got a new website being made at the moment, which I'm really excited about. And so that will probably be up in the next few days. That's hilarystocker.ch, or over Facebook. I'd love to have
Hilary
Facebook
Stocker,
friends
spelled Stocker, right? Hilary Stocker.
Yes.
And it's one L, not two.
Hilary with one L and Stocker with CK. Exactly.
Okay. And then a CH at the end, like ch.
Yes. That's the Swiss address.
Aha.
Yes.
Makes me want to say, chang, chang, chang. Chang, chang. Do, 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 do. Love it, love it, love it, love it, Hilary. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. I've really enjoyed it. I feel like I'm floating, and I'm sure some of our viewers are watching it right now or later on in the future are going to be floating too. And I'm actually feeling like I want to go have a nice lie down and nap after the session.
No, I'm feeling
really
great.
funny.
It's been a great show with you. It's just been wonderful. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on the show.
Yes, yes, yes. And a lot of insights as well as to how to move from a space of conflict, war, and battle into a space of feeling this peace, and recognizing that we do have an ability to shift it. We do have an ability to choose what we're going to have in our life experience, that we don't have to be in this constant war frame of mind all the time, and that there are tools for us to uplift ourselves out of that mentality or out of that feeling space and into a more peaceful feeling space. So thank you for that.
Yes, we are the great creator. So let's not create more lack. It doesn't feel good. Let's create this space of peace for us, for our children, for our children's children, and all the world's children.
It's wonderful.
We have the ability to do that now. So let's do it.
Yes. Yes. And like people are always saying, oh, we wish there was peace on earth. Hello, you are peace on earth. Just you be peace on earth, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to do a little goodbye in a moment, but I first want to, do you have any final little things you'd like to share, Hilary, before we close off? Because we're nearly on time now.
Yes, that was really the thing that I wanted to share, that we have the ability to make the choice now. Whether we want to stay in conflict and struggle, or whether we want to create this new world for ourselves and for future generations, so that we can all live in a space where we collaborate with each other. When you come from a space of peace, then you create something new with other people. This is the collaboration of working together. It's not working against each other. It's working to uplift a whole community like the coaching community that I'm part of, the Life's Transformed community, like you, Bev. We're creating something new together, and it's a collaboration. We're not working against each other. We're uplifting each other. Your speakers help you to become more well known. You help us to become well known, and there's no conflict there. We're just doing wonderful things together. We have that choice.
Oh. Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that is exactly why I started the show back in July this year, is because I did feel that, you know, we can achieve so much more and move so much further if we're working together or playing together. I like to say playing together because it's more fun to play, right? And so it's just, that's essentially been the vision with this, is if we can all support each other. And I think if we could have more of this in the planet, us embodying it here is allowing, because we're embodying that in our frequency, more people will be able to embody that in their frequencies, because they can feel that energy and go, oh, I like what she's got in her field. Let me have some of that. You know,
yes.
So that's I suppose the intention that you also come from with the war to peace scenario.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, Hilary, for being on the show today. I really do appreciate having you here joining us today. And if you want to say a quick final goodbye, we did have a few people come and join us in the room on and off. I don't know, because they didn't all give us their names, but I do know Anne was bold and bright enough to say hi to us. So thank you, Anne, for getting involved and for engaging with us today. It was great to have you joining us. And so Hilary, do you want to do a final little goodbye there, or, before we close off?
Goodbye to everybody who's been watching right now or in the future. And I hope to be back and sharing more with you. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Hilary. And a final one from me, Beverley Buckley, thank you for joining us today on the show, the Love Your Life show. It's been wonderful. If you've come to play live, or if you are going to be watching the replay of this, it would be great to have you join us again for another show. We have a few more left for this season, so if you want to check out the Facebook page at Love Your Life Show, it's on the Facebook pages. All the events are listed there, as well as next year, March 2017, is season. And right now I'm busy streaming from Peru. Next year in March I'll be streaming from Hawaii. So yeah, if you want to check in with all of that, at the moment it is on Facebook because it's just the easiest, although probably next year we'll have the website up and running. It's just we want to make it really fat and delicious and juicy. So it's on the way. It's on the way, as all things are in process. It was wonderful to have you join us today, and look forward to playing with you again in the near future. Lots of love from me and obviously from Hilary, and see you on the next call. Remember, love your life.